Yeah. Child safety pill bottle. So, yeah. Uh, I was going to do a video tonight. But I was like, screw it. We'll do a live stream instead in case anybody's around. Yeah. Shit you should have done before the live stream for $1,000, Alex. Yeah, not a whole lot going on right now. Matter of fact, it's been so dead that I'm assuming that they've wrapped production. Now, earlier today, there was a thing that went up over on Doctor Who Production News, but it turned out that was filming for the new Simon Pegg, Nick Frost project. It's just weirding me out. It's just so quiet now. We're like at the calm, before the storm. Now, some folks are saying there's a possibility we're going to get a trailer for Doctor Who Series 12 around October 13th. But please keep in mind that is speculation at this point. All right. That's not confirmed. It's just speculation. Now, there's a lot of people who are still complaining that there's not going to be a Christmas special. And I'm like, they never said there was going to be one. So I don't know why everybody's jumping up and down and going, they're going to have Christmas special this year. They're going to have Christmas. No, they're not. They pretty much confirmed that when Titan Comics put out a statement saying that they're doing a festive holiday special type group of comics because the Beeb's not doing one this year. Now, a lot of people are going, why don't they go back to Christmas? And I think one of the reasons why is if you go back and look back over the Christmas specials going back, I think Voyage of the Damned was probably the highest rated one. And Doctor Who was getting buried by all these other specials. Hell, and also you'll notice the ratings trend on Christmas events. I think even the Queen's speech, I'm going off the brain noggin here, barely got like 6 million viewers last year. So Christmas Day is not really a time if you want to score ratings. Plus, no. Not till October 13th, Philip. October 13th. Like I said, they've got more than enough in the can now. If they wanted to make a Series 12 trailer, they can. But please keep that in mind. This is speculation from a group of people out there because it also happens to fall onto a day there's going to be a match. Like I said, I'll believe it when I see it. That's how I am. Now, also, one of my last videos, Chris Eccleston, with his battle with anorexia, he revealed that, got marked, get ready for this, not suitable for most advertisers. And guess what? Confirmed by Manual Review. And it's like, I can't find a single thing in the video that violates the quote-unquote regulations. There's no swearing. There's none of this. There's none of that. There's none of this. I wasn't even vaping. It was a regular news video. Yet I have a video out there where I did a live stream and I talked about vaping for a good solid almost 5 minutes, and they didn't flag that one at all. So I just don't know what's going on with YouTube anymore. I don't think they know either. Well, I can tell you this for a fact. Now, everybody gather around. I'm going to impart a secret upon you. Now, you folks who already have a YouTube channel probably know this. YouTube Studio sucks ass. I don't know why YouTube keeps changing the video manager, what you call our creator studio, every so often. And now they've got this thing, they're calling it YouTube Studio, which to me, Creator did everything I needed it to do. It gave me a summary of the videos, gave me a summary of analytics and stuff like that. Studio's all over the damn place. I don't even know where the hell anything is on it. I've heard earlier than April. I don't know where. Well, there's certain folks who are saying it's not going to be till around Easter. Some have said February, but at the same time, can you really call April early 2020? I don't know. But then again, this is the Beeb. I don't think they know what's going on half the time. But I think, like I said, given the fact that we haven't seen, I have to go double check on Bradley Walsh's channel. We haven't seen any Bradders Bangers, I think, in a little while. Plus, they were spotted, some of the cast in various other places. I'm beginning to think that Series 12 wrapped, and they just didn't say anything about it. But I will. Time moves on. And also, sadly, we had so many deaths over the weekend. In my last video, I didn't really talk much about it because I was just still so pissed by the treatment of people going in and out of Cincinnati Comic Expo that it was flabbergasted me. It really did knock me for a loop that there was so many different ways they could have achieved the same level of security that they had without, locking off the building like, they're going to be testing, UFOs from Area 51 in there or some shit. I'm like, hey, it was worse than the airport. Well, it was probably about the same as level as airport security. But the fact they only had one entrance in and out of the building, allegedly there was another one where you could go in with an armband. I never saw anyone going in and out of there, so I'm assuming that wasn't true. And it's like they just tossed everybody's rights out the window. They really did. I'm sorry, but they should not be looking in your personal shit. That's guaranteed to you under the Constitution of the United States if you're in this country. That's basically violates illegal search and seizure and throws it out the window. All the clauses we have against it, I mean. So that's why I was a little bit pissed. But just to name off a few, a lot of people may not be aware that Sid Haig passed away. Now, most of you out there who are into the horror genre will know Sid Haig from Devil's Rejects, House with 1,000 Corpses, Devil's Rejects, and now 3 from Hell. But long before that, he was like on, I think, Mission Impossible. He made a couple appearances in Buck Rogers in the 25th Century back in 70. Was it 79 or 80? Something like that. But I remember him as, I think it was Dragos was his name from Jason of Star Command. The guy who had the big helmet with the one eye, So he did a lot of stuff in his career that just seems to have been forgotten, as it went by the wayside. And matter of fact, I believe he also made an appearance in the 60s Batman series. So Sid Haig had a lot more clout than people give him credit for in most ways. Plus, we had the passing of Jack Donner, which a lot of people may not know because he only had one big role in, that we know of from sci-fi, and that was he played Tal in the Enterprise incident in the original Star Trek series. And that was such a monumental episode to me, and I was glad they did redo it later on with the graphics, because what happened was when they were filming Enterprise incident, it's the one where they go into the neutral zone and they try to make it look like Kirk went nuts, and it turns out it was a covert mission by Starfleet, Section 31, the early years. And what happened was they were bringing down the model for the Romulan bird of prey for the filming, and the guy dropped it, and I guess it went down some stairs, bam, bam, broke into like 4 or 5 pieces. And that's why you ended up with the Klingon D7 being the primary ship, with Romulan markings, because the bird of prey model got broken in an accident on the way to filming. So, but if you watch the newly remastered one, they've put a bird of prey in there. And I really love the fact they did that. Yeah, Sid Haig was 80. Jack Donner was 90. But the saddest one of the bunch has to be Aaron Eisenberg, who a lot of people knew as Nog from Deep Space Nine. And he was only 50 years old. But apparently, if you go back and read over his information, he had a lot of the same problems that afflicted, if I remember right, Gary Coleman, with problems with the kidneys and all that, which is why he was stuck, I think, at the height of 5 feet. He couldn't grow anymore due to the kidney problems. He was born with one barely functioning kidney. He had a kidney transplant later on, I think at 17. He had another one about 2 years ago. And sadly, like I said, they haven't gone into too many details, but I'm assuming it has something to do with that. Because all we know is he was rushed to the emergency room, I believe it was on the 21st. He was in critical condition, and he's passed away during the night. But I had a bunch of you in here last time, and like I said, someone misinterpreted me a little bit because they, saying, something about, cons take a big chunk of the ticket money and all that. And I never disagreed with that statement. It's just the prices. I don't know if the con set the prices or the agent set the prices in that case, but $60 for a selfie at a table is too damn much. I don't care who the hell you are. Come on. It's like either you do them or you don't. If it's going to be more than like 10 or 20 bucks, and even 20 to me is a bit extreme, then, really? Ugh. So sadly, yeah, we lost a group of people over the weekend. Yeah, I'm all over the place a little bit tonight, but like I said, there just isn't a whole lot to talk about regarding Doctor Who at the moment. All we know is we've got a lot of stuff that's in the rumor pile and a lot of stuff in the stuff we know to be true pile. So, like I said, I've put Sea Devils, the Master, and all that into the rumor pile. And that's where I'm going to leave it till I see differently. We do know the Junoon's coming back. We do know Anji and Mahendra is coming back. And things like that. We know those are fact because we've seen the pictures of them on set and whatnot. But now someone's saying the Sea Devils are confirmed, but I'm like, yeah, let me see a picture of one on set. Then I'll believe you at this point. Hell, I had a guy trying to convince me he was the 14th Doctor earlier this week. I'm like, you got to be shitting me, right? Yeah, you're going to violate your NDA to contact me. It's like, dude, I'm barely over 5,000 subscribers for crying out loud. Yeah, you're going to blow the whole wad on me. Yeah, right. But some people seem to think that I have this big, like someone brought up the point, why didn't you just get a table or badges for the con? And it doesn't matter. From what I understand, exhibitors and all that went in through one other entrance at the con. But the cost of a table, I'd have to man it all 3 days. We can barely afford one. And I'm just not that big of a deal. I don't know why people seem to think that I'm like king shit. I really not. There's guys who started long after I did who've got like 20, 30,000 subscribers. My only big difference is I don't play the promote game. And I think that's one of the reasons I get a lot of shit from YouTube is because I've not once hit the promote button on a video. Not once. Oh, you don't know it either, you Philip Archer. I can't say it. It's too mean. Okay, Galaxy of Terror. Yeah, that's another good example. Plus, he did some movies here and there, long before he was in Devil's Rejects and all that other stuff, House of a Thousand Corpses. I don't know. October is not beyond believable. I don't know why everybody seems to think it is. They've been filming since way earlier this year, like January or so. And it's like they've got almost enough in the can that they can do a trailer. It's not a problem. They could cash in on that. That's another possibility, but I think that falls under a different department, doesn't it? Someone referred to the McCoy thing being out. And it's like, sadly, I don't have the Pertwee collection. It's just I barely afforded this con, and I'm going to basically be walking out of Chicago TARDIS broke this year. And the only thing I don't like about Chicago TARDIS has nothing to do with the con itself. It's the fact that they have it on the last weekend of November, Thanksgiving weekend. And it's like the weather here in Ohio is so unpredictable. We have years where it's perfectly calm. Then we have years where it's rainy. Then we have years where there's like a couple feet of snow on the ground. So that's my only problem with it is, if the weather's too bad, we can't make the drive. Last year we made it out of there and the sad part is I missed out on my chance I had paid for a photo op with Fraser Hines and Wendy Padbury, but it was so late in the afternoon. It's like we had to get on the road. We had a 4-hour plus drive that was ahead of us to come home from Chicago. Well, it's actually held in the town just outside of Chicago. Oh yeah. Don't even ask about the miracle package that showed up on our door almost 4 months later. Oh God, you went through all these toll booths. And I go, yeah, there wasn't one damn sign saying we had to pay a toll or stop to pay one, you jackasses. Another way the state milks the innocent for money. Like I said, I don't know why everybody seems to think I'm not in, any kind of shape. I'm not a baby face, good looking guy. Someone's claiming I'm losing weight. I don't know how. I've been having so much trouble with my ankles. I've been barely getting on the damn treadmill. And it's that time of year when you have cold weather mixing with warm weather, and it really screws with my arthritis. So, Philip, they'd have had more than the first half of the series done with post-production by October. You negative knob. Ugh. But sadly, it looks like Chicago TARDIS, as far as Doctor Who goes, is going to be the only game in town for us, and it's nowhere near town. There was a couple attempts to bring cons to Ohio, and I don't want to go any big bad details about it because someone seems to have a wee bit of animosity because I brought up the film. I tried telling them, don't put the con that far north. Don't do this. And sure enough, it never happened. Also, we had the Time Lord Expo debacle, and I'm still getting details about the Time Lord Expo debacle. And it looks like the guy who was running it took the money and ran, and that's what it really looks like. Far as I know, nobody, I don't think any of the celebrities got paid. It was all canceled anyway, but still, that's a whole other story that maybe I'll go into the future. If I have time, we'll do a little thing about it. Was Time Lord Expo. There was Ohio Who 2017, which was a gathering at Pack Rat Comics down here towards Columbus, and there was a lot of people there, had a lot of fun. Pack Rat, for you folks who are listening, and you're in Ohio area, Pack Rat Comics has said they will happily do another event. And these folks not only gave us the entire plaza for that event, and they're willing to do this again. They actually did a couple radio ads. I think they did a TV ad. There was like 350 people signed in that day. And that's just the people who signed in. It was a nice little event. Everybody had fun. Terry Malloy and Caitlin Blackwood were there. That's where I got my one picture of Caitlin Blackwood. And also I got, she gave me a shout out for my channel and didn't charge me anything for it. So I got to, once again, if the Blackwoods are anywhere out there, I don't think they'll be watching this. I can't thank them enough for their kindness. Especially her mom, Linda Blackwood. She really did a lot to make that event happen. So I just wish I had the money, because if I had the money to get at least one guest, I would happily do another event there at Pack Rat Comics. They're more than willing to do it. But the problem is money is the big problem. And I just don't have any luck with raising money. I can't even get people to click on the frickin' super chat, for crying out loud. So I'm really hesitant. Like someone goes, why don't you start a Patreon channel? The problem is I don't believe in exclusive content. I really don't. To me, it's just an honor and a privilege that people show up at this channel at all. But for some reason, people go nuts. I've got to have more. I've got to have more. And I'm like, if you give people the truth, they'll come back to you. Shoot straight from the hip. Don't feed them shit. But of course, there's the people out there who live on the hate like a vampire. And of course, they've got tens of thousands of viewers, and I still can't figure out why. But other than, well, let's hit the boost button. And I just, I can't afford that shit. This has always been a hobby to me, and I've always enjoyed doing it. And I've always enjoyed, helping spread the news out there to the folks who will listen. And if I don't think something's true, I'll tell you. Okay, let's open up the questions for a little bit here. Then, like I said, I can't stay on too late anyway because it's a work night. I might as well vape because I don't know anymore what YouTube wants or not wants. It's like trying to get a movie past the MPAA with an R rating. It's hard as hell to do. Oh yeah, I used to not like the sun either. For years and years and years, I always worked night shift at jobs. Before I moved down here, I was working at a plant. We were doing 10-hour shifts, usually 5 days a week. Shift started at 5:30 in the afternoon. We didn't get out till 4 o'clock the following morning. And sometimes even later than that. If we fell behind a bit, they'd call like 10-7, which means they can keep you up to 42 minutes past the 10 hours. Oh, thanks, Brendan. That really helps. Thank you. I'm just glad somebody, hit that button. I've been it always tickles me a little, when folks, do hit it, because it does help. It really does. And also with YouTube, I know one channel got hit back to, I can't remember how many years back, on videos for not suitable for most advertisers. And it just seems to me like they're cutting on the smaller channels, because some of their other channels have gotten so big that they're probably making more money on their own than they are on YouTube at this point. And what amazes me is the fact that they're hitting me for stuff I don't even know what it is now. I really can't even guess. I think it has a lot to do, like I said, with the fact I don't hit the boost button. If the people are there, they'll come, and also I've been learning a lot of other things about YouTube in the years I've been on it, like how fast a video will suddenly disappear off the recommended pages, and then suddenly it pops up like years later. Oh man, I got one video. Oh man, we did a podcast on Village of the Damned. Now apparently people must have thought when they clicked on this thing, because of the page, the thumbnail I made for it, that they were going to watch the movie. And that thing's like over 15,000 views just sitting there, and it's going on how many years old, but it's got like a lot of negatives on it. And I'm like, yeah, because you thought you were going to watch the movie for free. And it turns out, no, it ain't. It's just a bunch of guys talking about the movie, which Mark Hamill was in. Ugh. Oh, that seems like a billion years ago. So any questions, concerns, ideas? I hope I've lost weight. I don't know. Like I said, it's so hard to. A lot of people are like fat shaming now and stuff like that. They just assume that because you're fat, you're an idiot, that you're fat, you're, lazy. It's like, I go to work every frickin' day, man. I do 40 hours a week. I don't just sit around here all the time. Now this week I won't be, because I got to go in for a sleep study on Thursday night, and I got to get a new CPAP machine because the old one's finally conked out. I'm running on a backup machine right now, and I think everything but my heart's falling apart. It's kind of like my body's like an old Toyota. Everything's rusting apart around the engine. Yeah, the bigger channels get like free promotion, I've noticed. It's like there's certain reaction channels I've noticed that you'll like go type in Doctor Who reaction, and stuff from years ago pops up for certain channels, and other channels you normally watch aren't even coming up on the search. It's like, really? Because I like to go watch the reaction channels for certain things, because it gives me an idea. It kind of gives me a little feedback on what's going on with Doctor Who. Like, there's a lot of folks out there who are watching Classic Who right now for the first time, and there's a lot of them who are giving it really good props. Yeah, but the biggest thing right now seems to be fat. There's a lot of celebrities I used to have a lot of respect for that right now I wouldn't piss on them to put them out if they were on fire, because of things they've said in the media. And they seem to think that, everybody, who's overweight, like I said, does this by choice. We don't. Right now, as I'm sitting here, I have a stomach that processes food at less than half the speed that it should. And this was confirmed back when they were doing an endoscopy on me, because I was having so much trouble with my digestive system. They did an endoscopy, and there was a bunch of wonton soup that I had almost 14 hours before still sitting in my stomach. They're like, wait a minute, this should have been gone hours ago. I go, yeah, I ate that like 14 hours ago. Oh, thanks, folks. That really helps. I'm really glad you're hitting that button there. I really am. Thank you. Every little bit helps. It really does. Because right now, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm kind of circling the drain here because things are looking ugly for the automotive industry. I wouldn't be the least bit surprised if we wind up on strike with GM. Well, to get off Doctor Who a little bit, a lot of people are wondering, why did GM go on strike? Well, here it is to run all these production facilities. $22 million. Does that sound right to you? It's a buffer zone here. There's any buffering going on. Let me see if maybe something here is interfering with it. Make sure I don't have any background programs running that could be interfering. All right. Hope that'll help. I don't know if it will. But given the internet I pay for, I should not be having this kind of trouble with buffering. It's got to be YouTube. Because one of the highest bills I have, because I do not have any channels or anything like that. The only thing I get cable for from my cable company is for, the internet connection. And we watch pretty much Netflix is the only thing I have. Okay, somebody put some questions up here. Let me get in there. Okay. Oh, you're going to get the Big Chief Third Doctor. I saw that. It looks like it's a nice sculpt on that figure. I think I put a picture of that up on the Facebook page of the Third Doctor figurine that's coming out from Big Chief. And it looks like it's really, really good quality. Okay, are you? Yeah, I know. I just got past the buffering bar. Hopefully you're seeing it. Yeah, it's kind of funny how when I start talking about YouTube, it starts going out. Oh, well. So any other questions, concerns? Am I even coming up on your screen? Let me know here. I know it's got it. Like I said, I'm not surprised. YouTube's been acting funny the last few times I've tried to do this. I know. There's a few animes I do like if you bring that up. Do not watch the Full Metal Alchemist live action movie. If you have already, then I'm sorry. But if you've not, I've just saved you a good 90 minutes or so of your time. It was, oh, goodness. I tried watching the English dub version, and it was just, oh. Compared to the anime, it was horrible. Oh, thanks. Yeah, it is one I've had for a little while now. I don't know how to do any of that crap. I really don't. Like I said, if I had half the knowledge I need, I'd already be live streaming on Twitch and stuff like that. It's just, a lot of this stuff I'm still figuring out. I'm about a quarter of the way, maybe maybe a third, almost half, with the script for the conclusion of what. And I'm hoping you all enjoy that for you folks who've been listening to the Dr. Freedom and Eric audios. A lot of effort goes into those. Like I said, nobody is getting paid to do those.